Okay, we're going for take two because I went way over time in the previous recording. So if you hear squealing in the background, it's because they're trying to buff out like a big piece of metal downstairs. Basically, we had some enclosures that came in today, and everybody's super excited about it because now we can finally complete some of the final installations that we need to fire things. So this is my room. This is where I'm staying. I have had it referred to as like elementary school portable-esque, and I think that is valid, but I don't spend that much time in here, so it doesn't really matter that much to me. But yeah, basically what I was trying to, as I was screwing in my 20th screw of the day, I was listening to Saving Us by Katherine Hayhoe, who is this really notable climate scientist that is from Canada originally, but then is now a professor in Texas, where she tries to communicate climate change in a cross-cutting way across political alignment. And I think she said some things that are really poignant to how I'm thinking about things right now and the documentary. And it's that generally, like, people, when things happen, when shit happens, like, people will deal with it and people will find a way. And that is the one thing that you can generally depend on. It's the rate of change at which people start to have difficulty and where inequalities are exacerbated. So this is one thread of thought that I'm like, that is a very well phrased way to think about this very big problem. I think it's like baseline, hopeful, and accurate, and I think like somewhat bipartisan. The other thread of thinking that I have recently is a lot of thinking about war and how like technological development will inevitably contribute to it. Especially if you're working at the forefront of certain areas of engineering and physics, and how that is like really, really inevitable. Both of these have the cornerstone where they meet, and that is resilience. So it's like, if you want to strengthen the stability of our civilization and contribute to it in a really meaningful way without being on the offensive, potentially hurting other people, and if you want to make people more adaptable, change, everything comes back to this idea that like you want to make our existing structures stronger, more adaptable, more dynamic, and flexible, I guess. So I guess it's like fault tolerance, but in the social sense. So I was trying to think of different categories of work where this idea comes up. First of which being social. So like social resilience, so ways that you can make people less lonely, feel supported. So that's like matchmaking, having like community learning circles, or even like good urbanism, or like schooling that makes people feel more agentic. Like I think all of these things fall under the category of like social resilience for me. And then you have like climate and like technological resilience, where it's like upskilling, working on like public infrastructure and making it secure to like cyber attacks, and also just like weather and natural crises that occur. That feels like one. And then also upgrading the technologies in like slightly older or more traditional industries, like some parts of agriculture and like some parts of manufacturing, and just like making sure that they can adapt to changes that will come to occur. Yeah, and then there's like cultural resilience, where it's like, how well can you archive so that like the problems that occur don't occur again, and that like as things develop faster, we still have a record of what is happening. Like that also feels like a side of things to me. And then there's like health resilience, where it's like, can the supply chains for our food systems support low-cost, healthy options for people? And if there is a pandemic, do we have the public health mechanisms in place to communicate how we should be handling the virus? And also, like, do we have mRNA, like, vaccines in preparation for, like, viruses that are likely to come about? Like, this stuff hits something for me, and I don't quite know what it is yet, but I think there's a basket of ideas in here that like resonates actually with a lot of people, because I sure as hell can't be the only one thinking about this, especially in a time that especially in a time where we are thinking about war and like the closeness of it. Like if there was a like midnight clock equivalent for just like global, like truly global conflict, I mean, we're already at midnight, so yeah, I just don't. I think there's a lot of thinking about how you can get people to be pro-social and ambitious at the same time, and I have yet to find a label that exactly captures this for me. And I think my frustration is that it doesn't exist, but my hope is that I can shape it. So, clusters, thinking about ideas and thoughts, perhaps. This is also way over time, but I'm just gonna upload it, whatever. Like, I'd rather have a video up than not. So, bye. Thanks for listening.